great
Welcome to
moment.
the
Wait,
world
see the free table was
in the days, because we
Outcast
are
actually came and
live.
performed that some shit.
I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Cognac Confessionals. We are here live on a new day, this Friday, and nah, let me quit. Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. All right, what's happening, world? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Cognac Confessionals. I'm your host, Deshaun. Here at Where Media Meets, in conjunction with VJ TV, Farrell Films, History in the Making, Keep It Cloudy Productions.
Hey.
You know, it's another week. Fucking June is almost over. What's today, 24th?
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
pretty much all over but the shouting.
They say it's National Dick Sucking Day, so everybody.
Yeah, that's something that mean, but I didn't see a lot of the right people sharing it.
Yeah, you know, it's been an interesting week. We got a few things to discuss. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we got that groundbreaking recall overturning by the Supreme Court of Roe versus Wade. We gonna dip into that.
Supreme Court been real active, you know, the concealed carries.
Yeah.
And Miranda is next week.
Yeah, you got that fucking verses from last night. We definitely going in on that shit.
We talking about the Supreme Court, man.
Yeah, we want to start with that.
No, I'm saying Vaughn was in talking about what y'all talking about.
Oh, Vaughn, we got a few things we're gonna talk about tonight, bro. But of course, as always, let my man introduce himself. Tell him where you can find him at.
Hey, what's up, everybody, man? It's the infamous, notorious Pharaoh, man, from Pharaoh Films, man. And you can find me, man, wherever quality stories about black people are being told.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And how was your week, bro?
It was epic, man. You know, I've spent a lot of time on Twitter this week, and so I was outraged about something all day, every day.
Yeah.
I had to remind myself to log off a couple times.
It's been an interesting week.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody tuning in. Appreciate y'all tuning in as always. What's happening? You know, like the page, share the live. You know,
Right.
we got some stuff.
One of the things, though, is that a lot of people starting in 2016 like to say that the parties is the same, and a lot of people were starting to get active in the politics, and there got to be a lot of people who got real clever in, you know, in trying to hold the Democrats accountable.
Yeah.
And what many of us said at the time is that, hey, these Republicans is pure evil. You got to oppose them at any means. And now, the fruits of that. See, things ain't instantaneous.
Right.
But what happened this week with the Mirandas, which there's a lot of you who, without Miranda warnings, would have be serving time.
Mm-hmm.
The Roe versus Wade, the concealed carry thing, and then next month, they're going to overturn the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah, I gotta understand. They playing the long game.
All these things are coming to fruition now, but this is the key result of y'all falling back from Hillary in 2016. And don't get me wrong, I ain't here to praise no Hillary, but I knew that your liberties and your rights were definitely going to erode under a Republican president, especially an emboldened one like Donald Trump. And now, even though Trump is out of office, the things that was put in place in 2016 is now here in 2022. So y'all got to think. Y'all can't think, well, what's happening next week. You also got to think about what's going to happen in 5 years and 10 years.
Right.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Devon, what's up with you?
What's up, Vaughn? What's up, Candace?
Oh yeah, and then Nipsey Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn, you watching the Nipsey Hussle trial? I haven't.
I'm seeing too much contradictory information out of people. That shows you how unreliable eyewitness stuff is saying. Because there's 2-3 people who were standing right there, and they're all saying slightly different things.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. But back to what you were saying. You know, they've been playing the long game the whole time.
They've been trying to overturn this. The Civil Rights Act got passed in 1965. We talking about 1964. We talking about some Martin Luther King era stuff. Now in 2022, put you like this: when people like, oh, what could Trump be so bad? You got to understand, we sat through Reagan,
Mm-hmm.
Bush Senior, Bush Junior,
Mm-hmm.
and none of them was bad enough to take that on. And Trump came in and put it in position, and he told y'all, what do you got to lose? Well, now you seeing. So the Ice Cubes of the world and stuff like that, you know, when you get to the point where you start having George Zimmerman type situations here in California, rape victims can't get abortions, voting rights act violations and stuff like that, this is the support of Trump. Even though
And
Trump ain't in office no more, but this is a
the
tree.
long game.
You don't get the shade from a tree the next week. The seed has to be planted, watered, and grown. But just to show you how bad Trump was, even an evil person like Reagan couldn't get this done.
Hey, and Reagan was just they released the audio tapes of him when he made a phone call to Nixon,
Yeah.
and they was talking about the African delegation at one of the big meetings. I don't know if it was a UN or whatever, and he called them, oh, them monkeys. It was excited and clapping and dancing. That y'all, we know y'all understand. I hope y'all understand the people.
How do people really feel about you?
Yeah, you
And
know,
even though they dead and gone, they kids
The
and
shit
they
that they put
minions
in
are
play.
very much in power.
the shit they put in play is falling out. It's
Hey,
falling.
Candace, what's happening?
You know, it's falling in line. I mean, just like so, we just had I can't remember the sister name who just got nominated and confirmed to the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah.
Now the stain is you got a sister now in the Supreme Court, and then you just took away the woman's right to choose. What a woman, you got to understand the psychological ramifications of these things that are happening. Her getting put in place was not an accident with this happening. You got to understand the moves of the people behind the scenes that's making these things happen. Everything is
Performative.
it's on because most people gonna blame Sleepy Joe, and he voted to repeal it years ago his damn self. So y'all gotta understand this long game.
But the difference, though, is those of us who voted for Sleepy Joe, we know he's a politician. And we know he can be contradictory and they can go where the wind blows. So nobody was in the cult of Biden. We're not getting Biden tattoos. We not got Biden flags in the front yard. We looked at him as a politician who's contradictory but can be forced to do the things for the people. The people that supported Trump are literally in a cult. And that's why we're being, us on the slight left or whatever you want to call it, that's why we're being battered. Because we're looking at it as politics and just business, and these other people are looking at it as a fight of their life. So if one person is fighting for their life and one person is just fighting, who's going to win? Because these people like the boy that went in that supermarket and killed up all them black people. One thing they're not telling you on the news, do you know he had the word reparations rolled on his rifle?
He had all kind of shit written on his rifle.
Here's your reparations, nigga. Like some of us be like, oh yeah, we talking about voting for reparations. This man was willing to go in and kill random black people over reparations.
That wasn't random.
Man, it's a heavy game.
That wasn't random because
What is for Obama, Keisha?
What's happening, Keisha? Long time watcher. Thank you for tuning in as always. Just appreciate you.
Well, you got to remember, a lot of the people, and this is an unfortunate thing about a lot of us brothers and sisters, and this is how you can have the Dr. Seabees and all that. Some of us are so cautious on knowledge and stuff like that that when somebody comes talking some other shit, it seems deep. Or sometimes we get people being contradictory for the sake of contradictory. Obama wasn't perfect, but he wasn't a bad example. He went in there, he ruled this thing with empathy. He was a good symbol, black wife, the whole nine. My only fault with him, he didn't go far enough. But he didn't go far enough for my liking, but I can't never sit here and be like, fuck Obama or whoop-de-whoop, like some of these Negroes trying to seem deep or contrarian. And so I can't blame Obama for this. In fact, a lot of these things would have happened in 2008, 2009 if Obama hadn't been there to stem off some of that.
Got it. So,
round trip is correct too. It won't poverty, stay in poverty. What's up, Clifton Davis?
What's
My
happening?
comedian brother.
How you doing?
Cat
Thank
right
you for
there.
tuning in.
Hey,
It's just interesting, real funny.
but man, she's a brand.
Right, Keisha. But
Political
Obama
activist.
couldn't do stuff because you had the powers that be in play, and they wasn't the melanated people. And
But
I
he didn't
get that.
embarrass us. Nobody went
I
to
will
jail
give
on
you
his
that.
watch.
He didn't. He didn't.
You know.
People went to jail on everybody watch. People always go to jail. Politician is a politician.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, let's keep it a buck. They just
Hey,
like a
what's up,
prosecutor or a DA. They gonna do whatever they need to do to win the case.
Shout out to Kamala. Hey, happy birthday to my daughter, Kiera James. She's in the comments.
Happy birthday, Miss James. James gang.
I know she's getting ready to dig tonight.
Oh, that motherfucker with the 50 with the 52 states. That motherfucker was playing football when they had the folding helmets.
Kenneth, you out there in Georgia?
When they had
Herschel
mouthpieces made out of bubble gum.
Herschel got your vote.
Lawrence, the one watching, appreciate you, my brother. Tune in. We got Cat Bobineau, the biologist, in here with us tonight too. Cause we're gonna go in on the repealing of the Roe versus Wade, and I don't want this to be a male-dominated conversation.
Sorry, I'm late. Yeah.
Look on,
on
the bright
I'm
side.
not finished. No.
Look on
So
the bright side, you might not always be on time. Always where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be.
Okay then.
So
Mark Anthony, wilding it.
you wildin', bruh. You entitled to your opinion. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. No.
I'm just waiting for Keisha to see his comments.
They actually, I see they going after the alphabet people's rights and next.
Oh, they're next.
You know, y'all better understand what's going on. Like I said, this is a long game. This has been in play for a long time. You guys, this is not new. This is not something that they just woke. Hey, let's just fuck around and take that shit. No, this shit been in play for a minute,
But that's what I was saying. When people underestimate the how evil Trump really was, think about it. Ronald Reagan was near panic, and he couldn't pull this off. George Bush Sr., even though Trump is out of office, he put things in play because he had a total disregard for civility that are going to have heavy repercussions. Like I said, there's a lot of people who managed to avoid doing time because of Miranda rights and Miranda wanting to solve crimes. If they decide you did it, their only job is to get you in a booth to try to incriminate you. And one of the ways is they don't let you know you have a right to attorney. They know you have they put the pressure on you. So with Miranda being gone, it gives police even more power to play with you, twist your statements, and make you incriminate yourself. And there's a lot of innocent people sitting there because they didn't know their rights. And then there's some people who may be not so innocent. But to put it to you like this, as a black person, you got to be lightweight flexible. You can say, well, so-and-so was innocent. Free. You can say so-and-so wasn't innocent. CCW thing so that we can have a whole bunch of George Zimmermans running around the Bay Area. And then next,
get your gun safety on.
Is the Voting Rights Act.
So
y'all just don't know. So when you had the Snoop Dogs and all of them talking about this and the Kanye West, they was doing their people a greater disservice even realizing it's gonna come out eventually.
People is worried about the fluff that be going on, who dating who, and why this person can't see their kid, this celebrity, and which was all that bullshit.
They kept us distracted.
Exactly, distractions to do what they're supposed to do.
But what we talked about last week about the gladiators and stuff like that, a lot of things since the days of Caesar known that putting on shows and games
keep
and
you niggas entertained,
distract the people from what they really doing.
Like this is old school. Your first time having sex, the female first time having sex, you bite her ear to distract her before you put it in for the first time. You distract her.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's old school. It's old school. Old school.
I mean, it didn't happen to me.
Man, I wasn't asked, but I'm believing. That's why I kept looking at you. Are you going to give more insight?
So, Kat.
Yes. Catch me up.
Keisha, that is a contradiction.
Yeah. So, your thoughts on the overturning of Roe versus Wade?
First of all, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they overturning it? Right?
Because I'll tell you why. But go ahead. I want your thoughts, and I'll give y'all the ism.
You know what? Let me say with this. I'm not a real big conspiracy theorist. However, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists saying there was aliens, and the government was pushing them away until they decided recently to show that there was aliens. So conspiracies are there.
They're saying there's unidentified flying objects.
Right. There's a UFO. I say that to say that conspiracies have truth behind them, even though I try not to follow all of them and go down the rabbit hole. But I will say this. Critical race, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not taught in any elementary school in America.
They fighting it. They don't want it taught. You have...
But there was not even a danger of it being taught.
Well, then you also have... I forgot the term that they've been using, but basically white people starting to be the minority.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. She knows where I'm going. I'm like I said, I want to hear y'all opinion. I'm going to give you the ism. I'm going to drop some
replacement theory, which they've been talking about on conservative news. Like, it's a real thing to them, right?
That's the only reason.
They don't want that. And you getting the most abortions? White women. White women.
I was, because that's what I was going to break it down to you.
Despite Planned Parenthood being in every...
That's window dressing.
But you also...
I'm not saying it ain't...
But look at it this way. When they came out with the COVID shot and it was in the churches for free, the people to get first were white.
And Keisha was diametrically opposed to
they were white
vaccine
people
mandate.
coming to vaccine in black neighborhood, at the black churches, and all the black organizations. So just because they place it in those neighborhoods, and then you got to think about it. People have always been the number one people getting food stamps, welfare, and getting abortions. Put it in black. The reality is white.
Follow the stats. Follow the truth, because the non-melanated people of the world are minority. They are been for quite a long time, but the story has always been we consider ourselves minority. How can I consider myself a minority? Why? Because they told me I was a minority. I'm not a minority.
Well, and that takes me to that takes me to the thing that I always, black and brown people, mostly black people, when it comes to working together, right? You look at now I'm having a brain fart, but that movie was in Africa where they was killing everybody. Hotel Rwanda. Mm-hmm. Hotel Rwanda was a true fight, and it was a true war, and the reason why it was a war is because the white people came in and said this group of black people is better than this group of black people, and they believed it. Instead of working together, they believed it, and so they said, I'm superior to you. And then they started fighting, they started killing each other, and the white people who came in and said this was better than this bounced. They gave you guns to kill each other, and they bounced.
You guys, please understand that the only reason, first off, a woman's right, her body, her choice. I stand. You can choose to have a kid. You can choose. That's your body. Me as a man, I don't have a right to tell you what to do with your body. If I'm letting you, I'm taking a chance.
Right. I feel like it's always, it's my body, my choice, and we put it all on a woman. But as they always say, one woman can get pregnant for one time in 9 months. A man can get a woman pregnant every day. Yeah. So why is the restrictions always on the female body and not the male body?
Because that's logical.
Well, Kenneth, and the opposed to Kenneth's comment is Joe Biden is not necessarily running the country off a cliff. And this, hold on, and let me qualify this. I'm not here to praise Joe Biden, but understand, and this is what a lot of people, especially the Snoop Dogs and Ice Cubes of the world, fail to articulate, and I think it's intentional because they're very intelligent brothers. Obama faced historic levels of opposition. Mm-hmm. Politics is not like a company. If I go in and I'm CEO of a company, 50% of the people at the company say, I'm diametrically opposed to you and I'm going to do everything in order to make you fail, I'll fire them. In politics, you can't do that. So we have to keep things in context. Like if Joe Biden, gas prices are off, unintelligent brothers who don't really know and should probably be neutered will say this is Biden's fault. Intelligent people will understand Chevron and these companies are conservative, usually based out of Texas, led by conservatives, and they're making record profits. See what I'm saying? They're making record profits. So it's a simple case of I can kill two birds with one stone. I can gouge the American people,
yes,
and then make them think that it's due, so then we can eventually in another dude for us.
There's also,
so you can't blame a lot of these things on Biden. A lot of people who thought they were clever and would blame things on Obama and say things on Obama. You can't say Obama was bad without putting in context that Mitch McConnell and those dudes were to blow up the country. Biden's bad or Biden's fucking up, and you don't put into context that he is facing the same levels of opposition that Obama is. I wonder about what agenda. Black men, unfortunately, who are out there who they're not actually opposed to patriarchy and they're not opposed to white supremacy. What they're opposed to is their place within it.
Right.
And a lot of black men are operating from the context of
long as my house is closer to the masses' house,
and if the white man takes me as an ally,
as long as I'm above the rest of you niggas,
exactly.
I get to I'm okay with it.
Like this,
Herschel Walker.
If Massa allows me to reach some, and I get there, I'm quite okay with the
Uncle Ruckus ass niggas. Just them new niggas over there.
Everybody want to blame the president like we don't have a checks and balances system.
Thank you.
Like we don't have a House of Representatives and we don't have the Senate. Yes, you have someone in power who is the image of the country, but they cannot do anything with voting in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. So you cannot blame the one person with the when they want to do something. But they can't.
Or if you do blame them, I always believe in context. If you say, oh, Obama didn't do this or Biden didn't do this, then you also have to say. Because it's like this. And that's why we can't get businessmen to run the country, because a businessman would just simply fire all the people who are on the agenda. You can't fire. Biden cannot fire Mitch McConnell.
Right. And then
he can't fire Joe Manchin.
But you also got to look at that, too, is like, there is ageism when it comes to working, right? Mm-hmm. You get to a certain age, 50, 55, they don't want to hire you because they think your mental capacity is going down. But that's what's running the country.
Exactly. That's who's running this corporate. Stop calling it the country, please. Call it what it is. It's a corporation.
Okay, well, the corporation is ran by a bunch of conservative, older white men.
Joe Biden couldn't get hired at Google.
Right.
But neither could Trump, because he's in his 70s as well.
Right.
And also
Hillary.
To the thing, the power, the imaginary power that people put on the president, because you've seen all these people putting shit on gas pumps. Biden, thank you for gas being this high. The president does not control the fucking price of gas. I'm sorry, he does not. Now, when I say that, I'm going
she
to.
Has a question.
Yeah, she does. I asked her to repeat it because I think I missed it.
This is it.
The president doesn't control the price of gas, people. Now, is the president probably in line somewhere with somebody in the conversations? The corporations, the oil companies? I'm pretty sure probably. But he's not in control. He doesn't have the final say. So for everybody, because also remember, when old orange dude before you and I get Biden, your gas is going to be this and that. You understand that his homies is the people who run the oil business. He was telling, so when the price of gas went to where it went to, that was because Trump already put it in play. I told y'all, these people playing the long game. And no, I'm not a Biden sympathizer at all. I hold all the motherfuckers accountable. I hold all the motherfuckers accountable, and I hope they all get what they deserve in the end.
That's the thing. They probably won't.
Well, here's the thing. I was listening to this podcast. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the third wave.
Mm-mm.
Right? So it was a teacher predominantly white affluent school, and he was teaching a history lesson on Germans and occupation, right? And all the kids was just this middle school, and all the kids was like, how can these Germans just follow just this one guy? I don't get it.
Oh,
so
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Third Reich. You said wave.
No, Third Wave.
Oh, but
he
the Third Reich.
copied it off the Third Reich.
Okay, yeah.
With the students.
Right.
So he had them come. It only took 1 week, less than a week, but he had them come into their class where he was like, "Sit up straight. You got to do this." You know, well, I forgot all the quotes, but it's basically, if you follow the rules, then we can all be together as a collective, right? Within 3 days, he had his classes signing to him. He had them like repeating what he said. They were so secretive that other kids wanted to be a part of it. Friday, within 5 days, these kids just ready, like the Third Reich.
Exactly.
Right? It was a lesson
on
how adults and people can follow,
yeah,
and not realize they're following off the top,
yeah,
and they're going to say this is all for the camaraderie, this is all for the people, right?
Yeah.
But then he had this
blood
quote,
and soil.
But he had this quote at the end. He's like, that's what we seen with the election with Trump. All these people, because the thing was, you got the popular people, the jocks, all the people who get followed anyway. Now it's the middle people's turn. Now it's the people who don't have followers getting to have people following them. And that's what happened with Trump. He got that whole line of people in the middle who wasn't being heard. Now they have an opportunity to be heard. Right? When honestly, he don't give 2 shits about you. Dude, he don't care. You know, he was a mouthpiece for conservative men. But it gave all this middle ground who never had a voice. Right? And so that's what happened. So now all these people in the middle who didn't have a voice now having a voice is opposing those who's at the top. And the top don't care. Money enough access to get the fuck out of here.
They got health care for life.
They don't care.
They got security for life. They got everything for life. Their kids. I can go on and on and on. Are set. But while the middle America, citizens of this corporation will always pay for the sins of the people before us that you put in the office and you back just because you think she able to come to the cookout.
And that's the thing, but they always be like, oh, why are these people in power not caring about gun control? Because guess what? It's not happening at their schools. And it never will. It won't happen at the wealthy schools.
It'll never
happen in middle America.
Right.
They don't care.
You look at, I know, somebody, speaking of school shit happening, like the school shootings and whatnot, somebody asked me on a post about school shootings or whatnot. I said, because children are the most innocent of victims. If I want to lobby for gun control, but it's your right in the amendment of this corporation to bear arms. I believe you should have to bear arms. You should. Definitely. But if I want to erode that, I have to hit you below the belt.
But it's not effective.
To hit, I need to listen to me though. And I'm just speaking some shit. If I'm trying to repeal, like, women can't go get abortions now. If I'm trying to repeal, y'all understand what's going on. I need to have school shootings. Because I need to be. It
already happened.
Do you know how you get a stop sign? You know how you get a stop sign?
Roe versus Wade.
No, he's talking about.
I'm telling you. No. But you know how you get stop signs?
School shootings have.
It's going to continue.
No,
but here's the thing. Because you got the people behind this corporation who's like, no, I'm going to have arms. They're going to continue to have school shootings because I need to keep pulling at your heart. Finally, you know something? Yeah, we shouldn't have guns. You got to understand the psychology of your. I know, but I'm just telling you the game that you're in.
Because
you got to understand the opposition. This shit ain't happening by accident.
You're making 2 points that are. Well, I'm not saying I don't know if that's the point. that you think school shootings are being allowed to create a process of gun control, and that's fundamentally not true. There's no wizard pulling strings and picking schools on the map and sending disaffected loners to that.
You sure?
That's far-fetched.
Are you sure?
Absurdism.
Then you underestimate your enemy.
The second point that I'm trying to say is that
you underestimate your enemy.
There's too many people across this country and politicians and lobbies who are so into school shootings to make them say, you know what, I'm for gun control. No,
you don't
because they think because the powers that be, the actual politicians and the majority of this country are okay with kids if that's the price that they have to pay to have their guns.
Exactly, I'm with that. Exactly.
So there's no one sending people in to kill kids in order to affect gun control legislation. That's not
okay. All right, you think that if you want to, but
there's
at the same time,
gun control.
I'm with
well-regulated militia. If there's ever race stuff, the well-regulated militia is coming to kill us on behalf of the elites.
Exactly. But at the same time, they have to play the role of need gun control. That's why you'll continue.
No one's calling for gun control. In fact, kids are
bullshit.
Some of those kids in Uvalde, they have to do DNA tests because were decapitated. They were so murdered that their parents had to come and identify the kids based on what they were wearing. And
what does that tell you?
The Senate gave you was
as a citizen
prayers.
As a citizen, what does that tell you?
Control.
Nobody should be able to have those type of weapons. Citizens should not.
That's
what it's. I'm with. You should be able to have whatever the fuck you have. I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
I got some shit.
I'm
just saying when you I think you're missing my point. Mm-hmm. My point is to tug at the basic citizens' heartstrings to get them to keep pushing to get gun control. You're gonna have
who wants gun control? That's what I'm getting. I'm not trying. Wants gun control.
The average
person because they're being attacked.
But the powers that be who will control
don't want it.
Exactly.
But you have
get it.
Once again,
why is someone trying to pump these people up for gun control when they want gun? They don't want gun control.
You have a faction. No, it's not. A faction that does.
Of the powers that be that want gun control.
You have a faction that want gun control, and their tool. Keep pulling at of regular basic citizens, and once again, like I said in the beginning of my statement, children are the most innocent of victims because they have done to nobody.
The majority of politicians and the majority
and that's the game that is played.
The American public do not want gun control.
Huh? I think you should be able to have whatever you have.
So there's no one putting together a conspiracy to enact gun control.
Orders.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And the foot soldiers of white supremacy are no threat to the elites. And will kill on behalf of the elites.
And here's something that, remember, we've had plenty of discussions. I've said this before. A lot of these mass shootings and whatnot has happened. The primary suspect has always been a male, white pilgrim, mayonnaise, milk bread. And the last couple of highly documented shootings, it's been we're not minorities, but it's been other races.
Other than you, who?
Right.
Like who?
It was one was a brother. It was I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was one of the recent ones. It was a brother. You had the UVAT, that was the Latino, Hispanic, and I believe there was an Asian one. And I said they're gonna play the fucking race to draw because remember, most people think mass shooting, white boy lost his mind mad because he couldn't get no ass or some shit, got picked on as a kid, whatever. That's the usual scenario. Mm-hmm. But because the finger's always pointing at them for mass shootings, I need to involve some of you other motherfuckers to bring in the blame. So you gotta, like I said, you gotta understand.
But there's a but to
that. There's a but to everything. There are no absolutes.
There's an actual but to that. Because many of those others who have committed these mass shootings, when they look at their online posting, they look at
Anthony, the New York shooter and all that was a brother.
Yeah, one who was on some Hebrew.
What just had some brothers shoot up from downtown shit in Oakland. Now some man shooting.
That's
bro.
That's
That's still a mass shooting. That's shooting.
Okay,
that's what it is.
Now,
don't start doing niggas favors because niggas is niggas. Shoot.
No, because intelligent people don't fall.
We having all this shit in America.
You need division.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to keep you.
So do you feel like every great nation must fall? Do you feel like America?
You don't have to.
The fall of America.
But in history, they all do. They all do. At some point, whether they've been in power for 1,000 years, they all fall at some point.
And not to be anti anything, but just a free thinker. You look at the history of this corporation, the suffering that it has imposed on other countries, other places, the things that they have done behind the scenes, that stuff that has been classified has been declassified, stories from soldiers and who, the black sheets, the people who y'all consider crazy in your family, who done went and did some things back, like wigged out because they done witnessed some real foul shit.
But many of those things were necessary.
And it's probably, never mind, I was going to say, it's probably necessary for some shit that's going to continue to happen and keep happening. Because to invoke change, you have to do what? Get off your ass and do something different.
Right.
Like, for instance, some of the things that they've done, saying in Asia to oppress the rise of communism, and some of the things they've done in South America, even though we might look at it as horrific war crimes, but at the end of the day, you don't want communist hordes on America's border, just like you don't want Muslim hordes on the border.
You sure? Because
you don't want those things.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
So do we want
at the same time, you look at down religion?
We need socialism.
Look at in the world, the history, the way they passed down religion. They slaughtered people. You got to believe in what my Caesar Borgia shit and fuck who you had before. You want that shit to continue?
No, that's not the point. But
that is the point. It's the same thing. Same circus, same monkey.
No, I'm saying it's a little deeper than that.
Same monkey.
Can I finish this? What I'm saying is, like, people might say, "Oh, America."
They did war crimes on their own people. Go ahead. My bad.
Okay. If you understand the way the Sandinistas and people like that was dogging the people, you would understand America had to do what they had to do.
Who made these motherfuckers the motherfucking babysitter of the universe?
If you're in the village, in Salvador, and the Shining Path, Sendero Luminoso guerrillas are deciding that they're going to annex.
If you would want the CIA to stop, right? But the CIA ain't stopping the shit here. Nicaragua ain't coming here to stop the shit.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Islam ain't Iraq ain't coming here to stop the shit. Who's stopping the shit in America?
Who made these motherfuckers world police?
Why is that's the question?
Want the exportation of that ideology to where.
Hey, I hear you, Anthony, but who nominated them to be the controller, the overseer of everybody? Hold on, listen to
the American way of life. So if America has to.
I'm just open thinker. I'm just open-minded.
Being funny. I'm okay with that.
I'm open-minded, and I'm just asking the question.
But I'm okay with it.
What gives this corporation the right to tell another nation? I'm not talking about brutality, crimes, and none of that.
You know who I like?
Exclude that. I'm just listening to me. What gives them the right to tell another country how to live when the people who run this corporation ran from the motherfuckers that was doing shit to them? What gives them the right to say, "Oh, we gonna tell everybody else what to do," when you motherfuckers was?
Let's apply.
Keep it
logic.
a buck. I get it.
Let's apply logic. And what is
logic?
Keep
it a buck.
Logic is emotion tempered with reason. Do you or do you not like this American way of life? Of course you do. You own a home. You have a car. You have a nice life. We all own homes. We all have a nice life. We like this American way of life. So if America has to murder people in some foreign country to preserve this American way of life,
collateral damage.
Oh, let me finish. The moral thing is to be like, "Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's war crimes." But in reality, all of us want this way of life preserved and we will either look the other way or we'll find a way to rationalize it.
They said the live is
but
cutting.
we have to. But we want to preserve our way of life.
But here's the thing, though. The question remains, right? Mm-hmm. If Iran is fighting Iraq, mm-hmm. how is us going in there creating war crimes keeping our American way of life? If it's two countries on the other side of the world fighting.
Because those type of wars produce more Bin Ladens. So we want to...
I understand what you're saying.
We would want...
In the context.
We would want them killed. Where America went bad was killing Saddam. Because Saddam was so brutal and keeping people in line over there that there wasn't going to be a Bin Laden coming out of Iraq on Saddam's watch. So we made a mistake in killing Saddam.
I'd rather have New Zealand's way of life. Quite honestly.
They don't have no gun issues.
But we're not in New Zealand.
I'm just saying, but you're saying it like America has that life that's great. It don't. I'd rather go to a different country.
We do have a great way of life here.
No, we don't.
We do.
You have what you're used to. You're not used to living in other countries.
Right.
You have what you've been. You're used to the titty.
You're used to.
I get it. You're used to the titty milk you've been getting, and nothing. I understand that.
Yes,
I put it to you this way, like
manifest destiny.
I put it to you like this, like as a mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
American way of life is I don't chat my whole life.
Yeah.
Anyway,